What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. There's a couple of things I'd like to discuss since I installed the performance kit from Hitchcocks Motorcycles as well as the big bore kit. I installed everything. I had the performance, the race cams on the bike, and the new cylinder in, new piston. The first time around, the bike didn't want to start. That was because I had switched two of the wires over of the Dynojet PowerCommander module. So when I discovered that, I solved it. It was a small electrical or wiring issue, and surprisingly the bike started immediately, as you can see on one of the videos that I'd uploaded. Since then I took the bike out for 3 or 4 days, almost every day, short rides, maybe 15-20 kilometers, which is like 12 miles or so. And the other day I decided to take the bike for a long ride with a couple of friends. Anyways, long story short, somewhere around the start of the ride, the bike started to get some problems. It would feel like it would withhold, and then the feeling got worse, like it was fuel deprived, and it got me worried. And when it became too much, I had to stop and see what was going on. I did a roadside repair, and I found out that the negative terminal of the battery came completely loose. So luckily that was a quick fix, and I could solve it on the spot with the tools that I had with me at that time. After that, the bike started immediately, and I had a wonderful ride through the mountains, through some tunnels, all the way up to the beach of Khorfakan. If you've ever been in the UAE, you'll know what that is. It's a beautiful place. On the way back, in the last 30 kilometers or so, I started to feel that the bike got that same hesitation again. Not as bad as the beginning, but I suspected the battery terminal again. I did manage to get home. As a matter of fact, I didn't go home straight away. I went for lunch first, and then I went to visit a friend at the Biker's Cafe. So when I tried to start the bike and leave the Biker's Cafe, the bike didn't want to start, and I immediately suspected the loose battery terminal. I checked that. It seemed to be okay. And then I tried again, and the bike started immediately. Luckily, from Biker's Cafe to my home is about, I don't know, a mile or so. It's very close by, so I got home really quickly. Yeah, hydroplane. And it's gone. Yeah, so the bike started immediately, and when I got home, I started stripping the bike to find out what's going on. And two things were going on. The first thing was the Dynojet PowerCommander wiring that I had fiddled with came a bit undone, so there was a touch and go there. And secondly, the negative battery terminal, the lug of the negative cable that goes to the battery broke off. It shattered completely. So I had two issues. I solved them both, or I fixed them both. I replaced the lug on the battery, and I made the wiring proper and made sure that it's soldered correctly and taped off correctly instead of a quick fix that I had before. And I expected the bike to start, to be honest, but it didn't. The bike didn't start. And that's where the headache started. I spent, I don't know, maybe 10 hours trying to find out what's going on, what's wrong, and how can it be fixed. I'm sure that if I was a more competent motorcycle mechanic or electrician, I would have found the issue within minutes, but I'm learning as I'm going, so it took me a while. A lot of elimination, a lot of checking of resistance of different components, a lot of checking of the mapping, and trying different things that really I thought would be the cause of the problem. Luckily for me, the bike ran really well for about 350 kilometers, which is like 250 miles. So I know that the bike can run, and I know that it can run properly. It's just that I needed to find out what happened. Long story short, I got in touch with Hitchcocks Motorcycles, and they helped me. They really helped me a long way in trying to narrow down what the problem is. And it all boiled down to the PowerCommander unit not sending a signal to my injector. Um, that could be a software issue, that could be a hardware issue. Hitchcocks tried to help me by reaching out to Dynojet and finding a solution for me in the case it were a software problem. And they sent me a file and a program I had to download. Not the what's it called? It's called PowerCore, I believe. It's not the typical program you would use to adjust the maps, but it's something used by tuners mostly. Anyways, I tried to follow their instructions, and I had to send a file to my PowerCommander unit, and for some reason, halfway through that process of sending the file, the program would just shut down, which led me to believe that it's a faulty unit. It could be a hardware problem. I'm not 100% sure, but when I told of my problem to Hitchcocks Motorcycles, they did me a really good solid. They offered to send me another unit by express mail, so that was like really fast, from the UK to the United Arab Emirates, Dubai. It took 3 days, and by all means that's really fast. If you've lived in these parts of the world, you know that's really fast. So they sent me a new unit for me to try, and they told me that if it works and I'm happy with it, then I can send them the faulty unit. I just want to say thank you very much to Hitchcocks Motorcycles. I hope this is gonna work. I haven't swapped the PowerCommander out yet. I have both units here now. So this is the unit I got first, the original one, which is gonna go back to Hitchcocks, and they will send it back to Dynojet for warranty purposes. And right here is the package I got yesterday evening. It's another PowerCommander. This is the one I'm gonna try to install today, and that's what this video is gonna be about. So I'm gonna be installing this PowerCommander now. And oh yeah, I've started to remove the PAV air system. It's the pulse air system, or the pulse air valve system, or whatever they call it. It has a different name. PAIRS is another word for it. What it does is basically lean out the mixture that goes into your exhaust for emission purposes. So it kind of fools the emission readings on the various tests that are done by regulatory authorities around the world. But when you're, that's all fine and hunky-dory when you have a bike that has catalytic converters on them. But if you run an open pipe like I do, with no catalytic converters, then all it does is create a very annoying loud pop and bang when you close the throttle. You see, what it does is it adds more air into the exhaust mixture, leaning it out, causing for a nasty pop. Now, if you have a catalytic converter on your bike, all of that happens before the catalytic converter, and you won't notice a thing. But if you're running an open exhaust like I do, then it becomes really annoying. So I found a way to shut off that system. I'll show you in a second what I did, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much, and if you have any questions or any comments, please write them down below. Thank you. Okay, I'm standing here with my bike now in my garage, and before I remove the fuel tank and the rest of the bike or rest of the parts, I'll show you what I've done with the PAV. Here it is. This nut is what I put inside the engine, because typically there would be a hose that connects this nut that goes to the exhaust side of the engine to the PAIR system, or the passive air valve, or the pulse air system. It's a nuisance. I'm gonna remove it, and I put the right size bolt in there, or nut, to make sure that that's closed off completely. All right. well, fast idle came off my throttle body. I'm gonna put that one back first before I forget.
Let's do this one. Okay, along with the truth.
There it goes. She runs. Why is she dying? Why is she dying? Let's try again. Okay. I need to play a little bit with the idle, but other than that, she starts, so we'll get it sorted. See ya. Say you gotta love Royal Enfields, really. I I had a fiddle with the idle speed screw. It's an EFI bike, but it's got an idle speed screw. It's right over here. It's this, if you can't see it, it's a big flathead screw that goes in. I just turned it out a little bit counterclockwise, and now look at the bike. Perfect idle speed. I can play with it a little bit more. What I do know is that I'm not happy with this kind of quick fix. The plan is to take the bike to a Dynojet roller, you know, to get the real measurings and to get a custom tune for this bike. Hopefully that'll eliminate this slow idle problem that I had initially. Other than that, yeah, happy days.